Morning, everybody. So, one of my good trucking friends is purchasing another Crete truck, probably within the next week or two. This will be the second time that he's tried to become an owner operator, and I think this is great. I see this happening more and more often, where guys who tried it years ago uh, are and gave it up are coming back and trying again. And by and large, the reason they gave it up in the first place was because the damn trucks didn't have a warranty, and the truck repairs were enormous, and you either had to be a technical genius or have a big bank account in order to stay in business. Those little Cascadia 125 models were junk, absolute junk. You know, the one box alone, $15,000 to $20,000 if that thing went out, and that went out quite often. And that DEF system was like 10 grand to fix that. You know, fuel pump could be 2,500 bucks. You know, all these costs add up, and it was in some regards racing from one truck breakdown to the next truck breakdown, trying to save up enough money in between to pay for each repair that would come. And so you weren't making any money, and guys saw it as a waste of time, and they sold their trucks and got out of it and went back to being a company driver. Well, my friend did this as well. He had an older truck, and then it just completely broke down on him, and he got out from underneath it, but he went back to his company driver for 5 years, you know, and then he got out of debt, paid off all his bills, saved up his money, and now the Cascadia 126 models are out. He's going to go buy another one, try again. Now, what's good about this is that he was fairly young. This is someone who's still in his 30s, and he's probably going to be driving for the next 30 years. So it's not just about buying a truck. It's also about what kind of career do you want to have going forward. If do you want to be a company driver for 20 years or 30 years, or would you rather have your own truck and be an owner operator? So I think this is part of the equation where, if you tried it in the past, it may be worth revisiting and trying again. And then you got to think about, what do you want out of a trucking career? Are you satisfied as a company driver? Many drivers are, and I know a lot of Crete drivers are satisfied because of the matching 401k and the profit sharing plan that rewards years of service. And this is why I always said that, once you're an owner operator, kind of like you're always the owner operator, because you don't get credit for all those years you're released on with the company. So let's say you're an owner operator for 10 years and you want to go back to being a company driver. Well, you don't get credit for those 10 years of service. Your profit sharing starts out at zero. So you didn't really gain a lot by going back as a company driver. So it's okay to go back and forth as needed. Like, I went on medical leave for 5 months and I came back as a company driver. I'm getting ready to buy my third truck, and I know another guy who took some time off and sold his truck. He's coming back, and he's running as a company driver, and he's going to buy another truck. So it's okay to run as a company driver short term, but you're not going to make as much money as you're going to be as owner operator. Now, those senior company drivers with profit sharing, they do pretty good. They do as good as maybe a average or below average owner operator as far as compensation, because an owner operator is going to gross over 200,000 for the year, but after fuel and truck payments, stuff like that, and all his expenses, should come in right around 100,000, maybe a little bit more. The more miles you run, the little better you're going to do at the end of the year. And it also depends on whether or not you're a sole proprietor or you're an S corp. An S corp should get you there, because of the tax savings. And a senior company driver can do nearly as good, maybe not quite, They'll get up there $90,000 to $100,000 if they've been, a company driver for 10 to 20 years. So they do quite well. But I think you got to want to be an owner operator. I mean, if you look at the math and you're just logically thinking, okay, profit sharing, 401k match versus being an owner operator, math wise, I don't see the great big difference. No, the difference is your career. What do you want? Do you want to be a company driver or you want to be an owner operator? This is a career choice. It's like a different career. It's driving, but for the owner operator, driving's the easy part. It's all the business side of being an owner operator that really makes it a career change. Now you're a small business owner. As a company driver, you're an employee. So I think this is part of my friend's decision is that he wanted to be a small business owner. He wanted to be an owner operator. He didn't want to be a company driver. So when Freightliner came out with the Daimler warranty that covered all these major repairs all the way up for 7 years and 750,000 miles, guys like him are interested. They're like, okay, I'm willing to try it again. They've been snake bit. There's no doubt about it. Once bitten, twice shy. And once you've been snake bit, I mean, you're real shy. I mean, it's like that costs you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of frustration, and you don't really want to repeat that experience. But if the warranty is there to cover your concerns, then many guys are interested in trying again. And I think this is the mindset you need as an owner operator, is that success is not guaranteed. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to try over and over and over again. There's going to be so many ups and downs over a 20, 30-year career. It's not going to be a straight line from zero to success. There's going to be some pits and valleys in there as well. And you look at other entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, for example. You got to fail 1,000 times before you find one successful attempt. How many rockets failed to launch before one actually reached space? And that's kind of like it is when you're trying to become an owner operator. Got your equipment, you're on the launching pad, you think all systems go, and then the whole business model explodes in your face. Do you walk away, never to try again? Or are you the entrepreneur that says, as soon as I get enough money, scrape it together, I'm going to build me another rocket and I'm going to try again? That's what's going to make you successful as an owner operator. The never say die, mindset. Because you're going to be faced with some challenges. It's not going to be smooth sailing. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But it's one that many owner operators want to do. They just want to do it. It's like, this isn't about necessarily dollars and cents. This is about what kind of career do you want? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to run a small business? Or do you want to be an employee? I prefer to be a small business owner, and so do many of the other owner operators I'm friends with. So does my friend who's been driving for 5 years as a company driver, so he can get ready for this day when he can try again. And that's the kind of mindset you're going to need in order to be successful. Try again. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the internet.